Hey guys, how you going? Dylan from Neat 4x4 and Gus from Neat 4x4. We're here to present the tray and canopy. Taken a while to sort of get to where it is, simply because this tray I didn't actually get a massive opportunity to film as much as I wanted to. In hindsight, obviously sucks. I wish I spent more time sort of capturing what was happening. That's the whole idea of this build, and the tray is a pretty major part of it. But I tried to get this all done before heading off to Robe. Basically, with the time frame that I wanted to use to get to Robe and everything chewed in and took away that chance to film basically. So almost finished. I still got a little bit to do. The Undertray toolboxes lids, the doors aren't on, still got to finish them. Basically this whole tray has been finished. Canopy was done on the sidelines, which you can now see now, it's all powder coated and finished. Without further ado, we'll crack into it. So basically me and my mate Callum had the idea of building this tray, and it was going to start off pretty simplistic just to match the canopy, but that wasn't the case to when we started. And once we realised how far we're getting into the creative process of it all, we had to really knuckle down and start getting into it. And yeah, the first thing we did, obviously like any other tray, is just built the frame. So we built the frame, got it all put together and did all the dimensions and everything to suit the canopy. So the canopy was already made, had the dimensions and everything for it. So that was one sort of design aspect. The next one is these mudguards. So we rolled these and bent these tubes so that we could have sort of special looking sort of mudguards. And then obviously from the mudguards on back, you can see the Undertray toolbox. The Undertray toolbox is completely handmade, custom made. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I'll never build another Undertray toolbox. Like, I'm no fabricator, and some of the boys that will muck around with this are some pretty switched on fellas. And blimey, that was bloody hard. Just being handmade, all the angles, finding all the bits and pieces to make it all work, figuring out all the maths. Super just time consuming. It wasn't impossible, it was just super time consuming, which sort of ate at biggest project. The next thing you notice is we've got an Undertray drawer. So that also came from M2O, made to order toolboxes. And the rear section is pretty hectic as well. So it's hard to sort of tell from where you are now, but that rear section is actually on an angle coming back towards the tray and then flattens in the middle. So I've got an angled mudguard and an angled rear section, and then I put a toolbox in the middle of that. So I don't know if that can sort of give you an idea of how hectic this thing already is to build just because of the amount of angles we're dealing with. The boxes are completely welded in, but we had to put something in because, as you can see, the mudguard's here, and then you've got all that space towards the rear of the tray. So I needed to do something, otherwise it would have had too much of a gap, and you would have been able to see the whole chassis, and it just wouldn't have. There's no reason not to do a toolbox. There's every reason to do an Undertray toolbox, so that's exactly what we did. But yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of this. I'm going to go through step by step on what we're dealing with through the video, but this is pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that I didn't give you too much info on this or whatever. I wanted to document as much as I can just for my own sake, just so I could look back on it. But here it is, and here we are. So